Our third topic is, or principle is, expand your intelligence. Bhagavad Gita 10.10 speaks about Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. Krishna says he is giving intelligence. Tesham Satata Yukta Nam Bhajatam Priti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yena Mam Upayanti Te. So this verse says that one who is devoted and worships Krishna with love and serves Krishna, that he gives intelligence. Even if the devotee is not intelligent enough, he will give intelligence. So we know that the source of intelligence is Krishna, of all intelligence is Krishna, and that the soul originally is intelligent, much more intelligent, and has all knowledge, Satchitananda, eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. And so now, the sad fact, or the reality, also proven by research, is that we are using very small percentage of our brain. Some people say 2%, some people say 5%, whatever it is, it's very little. And we can use much more than we are using. And we have experts on creativity like Tony Buzan or this lateral thinking person, Edward De Bono. These people teach how to use our brain, how to use our intelligence. And I can say that one of the most important principles of success is can be described by the acronym UI, which means use your intelligence. Use your intelligence. UI. We are not using our intelligence enough in any area of life, including spiritual area. And we can develop our muscles, intelligence muscles, by using more our intelligence. And one, maybe the greatest tool for using our intelligence and the thing that stimulates our intelligence is excellent questions. Questions stimulate more intelligent thinking. So you have heard of brainstorming. Some people say that when you do brainstorming with yourself, it's called mindstorming. Some experts say like this. So it's like individual brainstorming, they call it mindstorming, where you can ask yourself a question and then think about answers or ideas. And what I do when I do coaching, sometimes with people and with devotees, I work with devotees 98% of the time. When they ask me for a question or for a solution, I ask them, have you thought about this yourself? Oh yes, I have thought, but you're senior, you know more and more experience, so you better give me an answer. And I said, well, let's do a little exercise. You please come up with 20 or 10 minimum, your best ideas how you can deal with this problem that you have offered me. Have you heard of monkey management? Yeah? It's a metaphor. Monkey could be a problem or unfinished task. And the employee comes to a manager, he has a monkey on his head, and he just expertly puts the monkey on the shoulder of the manager, and then manager has to scratch his head what he will do with the monkey, but the monkey belongs to the employee. Monkey belongs to the employee. So every manager, every leader, every parent has to be expert in bringing back the monkey. So I try to do this when people come to me and ask me for a solution. I say, okay, please sit down and write down 20 your best ideas how you can solve this. And they're so happy. They're so happy when they do it themselves. Much more happy than if they would get a genius answer from me. So remember that it's always more empowering to engage people, involve them in solving their problems, than giving them solutions. I mean, you can enjoy giving solutions, you can enjoy being a savior, you can enjoy being a problem solver, get paid for this. I don't mind, but I'm teaching you also something else that you can use. And that is empowering people, helping them to grow their own wings, especially here, also here. And you ask them to think. And the best thing at the moment that I can offer is actually about thinking, and we will not cover it here in detail. We can have a separate session for this. I have to ask Baba. How to facilitate people's high thinking is a science and an art. So we're touching upon this here. You see, if you go to professional seminars, they always do it, especially if they're free, they always do it in such a way that you get intrigued and that you want to learn more and go for the paid seminars. But I don't have paid seminars, so I'm not doing this so that you can come to my paid seminars or like big price. But I do want to intrigue you to study more and to practice more and to improve your skills. So how do we expand our intelligence, you tell me? How have you been expanding your intelligence since you were born? Yes?
Great question. I didn't do anything, I just always do this.
That's great.
No, but I can't,
So why are you laughing?
No, because I cannot give example very much everybody, because I was a student, I don't study anything, I'm just there before the night, I just pray, please help me, just let me pass, I'm not asking 100%, but just let me pass, 100%. Of course it's
Okay, let's look at the other. How do we expand our intelligence? What are the obvious ways?
Reading.
What?
Reading,
yes.
Questioning the root of the problem.
Okay.
So if there is a situation.
Yeah, when you have a problem.
Then you think why. 3 times why. If they answer next why.
Are you a coach?
No.
Why coach? Tony Robbins says he's a why guy.
So why? You go and then you keep asking why. And that's how I came to Krishna consciousness. In every situation, I was asking why. And then when I read the philosophy, it made sense.
Can I have a session with you? I need someone to ask me why. Believe it or not, I mean, I know all the questions, but somebody has to ask. Very nice.
Yeah, so ask why, putting the
Ask
why question and
okay.
getting to the root of the why.
Yes.
Not
Great.
just, the superficial one, but the real one.
Well, this is very introspective. I like this. Introspection is recommended in the Gita as a success principle. Okay, so what else? How do we expand our intelligence? We mentioned brainstorming, so thinking about ideas, questions, brainstorming. You need to have curiosity. So, what is the greatest source of learning for us and for everyone, but they don't know it?
Discovery. Just going and,
Discovery?
Yeah, discovery. Going and getting your hands dirty and okay, let's see what it is,
Okay. This is what you do, but what is the source of intelligence?
Krishna.
Yes, yeah. Or, where is Krishna? Huh? Yes. Krishna is in our heart. So, Super Soul is the greatest source of intelligence. We can expand our intelligence if we connect to the Super Soul. You already know this, but you are not using it enough. How often do you think about the Super Soul in your heart as a source of unlimited knowledge? How often do you do that? How often you address the Lord in your heart and you say, Mighty Lord, please give me more brain. So now you may ask, which type of intelligence would you like to expand? I would say all types of intelligence, but the most important intelligence we want to expand is spiritual intelligence. so that we always make spiritual choices. We always accept what is favorable and reject what is not favorable. We will do a little exercise a little bit later regarding, if you would like to share anything about expanding intelligence, please do it now. If you have any experience, you have read something amazing. I mean, like Edward de Bono, he says he has 6 thinking hats. So simply by hats, or imaginary hats, you can actually stimulate different types of intelligence by just imagining you have 6 hats. Tony Buzan has a book called Use Your Head. My teacher in high school, he used to say that your head is not meant just for your aesthetic promotion or just showing off your beauty, but it's meant for you to think. It's my physics professor, to use your head, use your intelligence. To me, the most powerful tool are questions. But do you have any other ideas? How we can expand our intelligence? Listening.
Coming here, listening to you.
Listening, learning, okay? Learning, asking. I mean, Arjuna is asking Krishna. If you don't know anything, you just ask yourself, who can teach me? And go to them. Yes?
Talking about something.
Talking about something.
Just having a dialogue.
This is very much connected to my secret offering to devotees about improving thinking and facilitating better quality thinking, that until you speak something, you're not even 100% clear how do you think about something.
Yeah.
So speaking helps. I heard that especially ladies, they need to say something in order to be clear how they think about something. And
that's why there's so much therapists these days.
yes, therapeutic, to say something. Therefore, enthusiastic and patient listeners are very much in demand. I mean, in Japan, you have a project, hire a friend. Pay to a person to be your friend. And friend listens. Yes, hire a friend in Japan. Because there is a need. I mean, there is a need. Whenever there is a need, there is a market. And people will pay. So, I mean, many counselors, they earn money by listening like 95% of the time. 50 pounds, 60, 70, 80, 100 pounds listening session. They say a couple of things, but mainly they're listening and people pay. And listening for devotees is so important. I encourage devotees to express how they feel, to express. Maybe they have been suppressed or repressed for their whole life. They always cut them off when they want to say something. Now we want to listen and they speak. And we encourage them to express everything they think and everything they feel. And then, if there is so much rubbish there, doesn't matter, it will become clear what is valuable, what is not, and then they will find their way and they will find their worth. But listening is so important. So, very wonderful point from you, Prabhu, that by speaking, one can expand actually his intelligence.
Can I ask some questions?
Yes.
You see, because we learn the philosophy, Bhagavad Gita or other things, and also like the Vaishnava behavior, how do you behave? And sometimes, like for myself, I'm not that level, and then sometimes I'm not sure if can I say these things to even confidentially or not. Because I use
about what?
Suppressing. No. For example, just take the example like that. Something. We should behave this way.
It's
that way.
a very important question. We are afraid not to be offensive. We are afraid not to be offensive. So if we have at least one person who is maybe our mentor or coach with whom we can speak about anything freely, they will not judge us, they will not beat us or whatever. No. It's good to understand what's happening, how to see things, how to understand things. I mean, there is sometimes confusing things or confusing behavior, maybe from seniors, and we need to understand what's happening. I mean, sometimes I speak to senior devotees even nowadays and ask them, why is this? Why is he doing this? And what is the logic behind that? And so, I think nothing should be a taboo topic. There should be a space to ask any question, not be laughed at, and be able to express doubts. And that's what Arjuna is doing in the Bhagavad Gita. He's expressing his doubts. You want to say something? Yeah. So, it's such an exciting thing. I mean, when I found out about coaching, I started my coaching when I came to London, actually, really seriously. Before this, I was warming up by reading some books. And when I came here, started to serve in Soho, then I started studying more. And I was so excited by the principle of creativity, expanding your creativity. It's such an exciting thing that we can learn. And I became open up from learning from people who are not Vedic. Learning from people who know so much how to deal with the material energy, how to be in the mode of goodness. Even though it's mixed with passion and ignorance, but still, we can learn so much from other people. I learned a very valuable thing, how to build trust. And trust is most important in any relationship. And how do you build trust? You do things that increase trust, and you increase the trust bank account. It's like a bank account. It helped me so much to learn this metaphor. And I didn't learn this from the Vedic literature. I learned it from a person who is pious, but who is a professional teacher of success, leadership. So, Prabhupada said in one conversation, we are open to learn from everywhere and anywhere. We are not sectarian. We are learn to open from anywhere because we understand that most of the things can be used in Krishna service. So why not use it? And when I encountered coaching, I saw that this can help devotees so much. And since then, I had about 1,000 devotees, working with about 1,000 devotees. And there is so much more need. I mean, sometimes people who have mentors, they ask for coaching because it's not enough. So don't limit your assistance to one person, to one guru, Of course, you get main direction and main instructions from your Diksha Guru, from your official mentor, but you can take assistance from others. You can take help from other gurus who inspire you. You can get shiksha, you can get coaching, you can get counseling, you can get all the help you can just to make progress in your life, in Krishna consciousness and in life in general. And another thing is also, maybe you don't have problems with this, but some devotees really struggle with money. So if we change the way we think about opulence, about wealth, we can actually become more rich and not be in anxiety all the time about money. We change the way we think. And then lately I have been clarifying things about self-help and Krishna consciousness, because devotees like to mix it, and devotees are helped a lot by certain teachers who are very powerful people, but they are not devotional. They don't teach devotional service. They teach some principles that are real, and we appreciate that, but we have to understand this through the eyes of Shastra and Krishna consciousness. And usually modern success teachings are mixed with passion and ignorance a lot. They are not pure goodness. But we want to appreciate what they offer as valuable because it can be used. And one of the main differences is that they say that we are the main doer. We are the main two. And we say, no, there is 5 factors of action, and one of them is super soul. So they don't mention the super soul. Sometimes they mention God, but very shyly and not scientifically. And Prabhupada is explaining how God is part of our results and of our action, very scientifically explaining how God is helping us in different ways. So when you are listening to people, I said this on Friday, I think, when you're listening to people, how listening will not be boring if you listen to your friends or anybody. Do you have any technique or any idea about this?
Can you repeat the question, sir? How listening isn't boring?
How listening cannot be boring? What kind of approach can you have that listening to anybody will never be boring? It's more precise.
Personally, when my mind is not chatty and I'm giving my complete attention and devotion to that person, I'm very interested, so I can listen attentively. And
But if you have heard already what same thing,
Empathy?
empathy,
compassion.
yeah, that's all true.
Again, ask questions to the person who's...
Well, that's nice. That can make it more interesting. Ask them questions until they really get angry. Say, okay, please tell me something. I mean, I get that. Please give me advice. Don't ask me questions anymore. Yeah, you want to do something else. So.
I have this like kind of theory through experience about we all resonate at a certain energy and vibration. Sometimes when we are on a high vibration and in tune with source, we attract that kind of friend or environment.
Like interesting people.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, so sometimes when something doesn't serve you and that person isn't very serving and they keep doing the same thing, and if it isn't a serving conversation, you say goodbye to it.
Yeah, you can do that. That's practical. So, what I suggest that conversations are structured. Not just sit and chat, so how are you doing? I'm okay, but I'm not okay. But structured conversation. So what does it mean? It means I'm here to facilitate your higher thinking, not any thinking. I will listen to you, but please make sure your thinking is good and think better. Try to think better. Try to think for your own benefit. Or if they want to think more.
So raise the vibration.
Vibration. Higher vibration.
Yeah.
Yes. Anybody else wants to say something about this? We have conversations every day. Some are more boring, some are less boring, some are interesting. But can we have one approach that will be helpful in most of the situations? I mean, I will suggest something, you will see if it's useful for you. But the idea is to have an attitude and approach that is universally applicable. Now you're really interested. What is this now? You look interested. The thing about expanding intelligence is that Krishna can give us unlimited intelligence if we want to help, serve ourselves, others. But if we have a right attitude, what is the beginning of knowledge in the Bhagavad Gita? Amanitvam. What is amanitvam? Humility. Amanitvam. So if one becomes humble and one understands I'm a servant, Krishna will give intelligence. If you love someone and you don't know how to help them, you're not just attached to them for your own enjoyment, but you love them for their own benefit, then Krishna gives you intelligence how to help them. You know that. So, you can have 2 questions that you ask when you approach anyone. How is Krishna helping this person? And when you listen through this question. And they tell this and this and this, and you can see how Krishna is helping them, or how Maya is helping them, how Maya is guiding them away from Krishna by the way they speculate or whatever they are doing to go away from Krishna consciousness. They have reasons, excuses, they explain to themselves, nothing is good, and devotees are not worthy of my association, or I'm not worthy of their association. So one question, how is Krishna helping this devotee? And listen to this question, what I say. And another question, how is Krishna testing this person or challenging this person? Now, as I'm speaking, I'm telling you this, I realize that I gained this through experience. So one way to expand our intelligence is to experience, and it's popularly known as a school of hard knocks. So we learn by making mistakes, and some people don't even learn after making so many mistakes. But experience, they say, is the greatest teacher. Experience. So through experience we learn that we can listen to someone by asking these two questions. And then you become so interested that you are interested to hear what they are going to say next that falls into this context. Of course you are open that they say something that is outside of this context, but for us it's interesting, how is Krishna helping this person? Or how can I be instrument in Krishna's hands so that this person is helped in their Krishna consciousness? So we want to be an instrument in Krishna's hands. So we use our intelligence, we expand our intelligence to help others and to help ourselves, to serve. This is why we want to do this. You mentioned the question, why? So why do we want to expand our intelligence? Do you want to expand your intelligence to become more famous, more rich, more materially wealthy in any way? Or you want to expand your intelligence to please God, to serve His devotees, to serve people, to make a contribution? This will be speak as a sixth topic. Okay, let's do a little exercise on expanding intelligence, but I would like you to work in pairs now. Please sit 2 by 2. And the task is, one of you will give a problem or a goal. It's always a goal. Even if it's a problem, you can turn it into a goal. But we can say a problem or a goal. And one of you needs to give at least 5 ideas. I will not ask you for 10. 5 ideas how this can be solved. And then ask the other person for feedback. Ask them, what do you think? Is it useful for you? So one is, and you will do it 2 ways. Both of you will do both things. So you will be a person who offers a problem or poses a problem, and you will be a problem solver with 5 solutions.
So the question will come from them and the solution will come from me.
Yes,
Yeah?
5 ideas how to solve, and you will change in a couple of minutes. I will tell you when to change roles. Okay, you can start now.
Sorry, Guru.
I will start.
Sorry, what's up?
You pose a problem. Share the experience. So with this exercise we had 2 ways to expand intelligence. One is that you have to think how to help other person, and another is discussion. When people discuss, this is an amazing way to expand intelligence, because there is this principle of 1 + 1 = 3, and And this is the principle of synergy, and it's everywhere in nature. You have symbiosis between, there is amazing facts when two individual units come together, how just the fact that they come together adds a lot of value and expands possibilities, and there are many examples for this in nature, for synergy. So when two people come together, and when two brains come together, two hearts come together, amazing things happen. One example is husband and wife equals child. And new life is created because two persons can come together. So, is any one of you willing to share what was interesting in the exercise, or did you find it exciting or boring, or what happened? Did you discover anything that is really relevant for you personally at this particular moment of time? It was a small exercise, but I think some things can happen even yes?
Some of the solutions that the person gave me were actually solutions for their own situation, even though the two situations were slightly
Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
As I was listening to his answers, I thought they're actually good answers for the situation that he asked me to think about. So I thought that was great.
Yeah. It's like an adventure, it's like a journey. When two people sit to help each other. I teach a principle called HEALS. That's an acronym. Not chaos, HEALS. HEALS means helping each other succeed. It's a good principle for community building. So when two people sit together, they can do much more for each other if there is a structure. If it's just spontaneous conversation over Govinda's Prasadam, you can enjoy it, but if you come with an idea that let us create something amazing, let us use our intelligence and creativity, then you can have much more rewarding association between each other. Usually I was doing coaching when I was here, many sessions at Govinda's. Then if they like the session, they buy me a cheesecake. Or some other preparations. There's too much variety. Okay, so this is amazing that what he was offering to you, it was good for him. That's fantastic. I didn't expect that. So thank you. Anybody else want to share what was your experience with this discussion? A little bit structured conversation.
Two people focusing on the same problem. When one person, there's one energy,
Yes,
and two
yeah.
people, as you said, there is
Much more powerful.
In breaking it up. And
So-
then you get empowered as well, because everybody has something that they already have worked out or sorted, whereas others. So they give a little bit of the Shakti unknowingly.
Yes, that's great.
Unknowingly, a little bit of Shakti
Yeah.
comes in to
Yeah.
give you that little bit push to do the endeavor.
Are you
So
a
you're-
motivational speaker? You're so enthusiastic. I would like to suggest that you maybe think about it. I can help you to develop your business or something like that. You're so enthusiastic. I think you're also very knowledgeable. And I also, you said you are initiated. So
Yes.
what is your name?
So Dharmini Radhika Devi.
Oh my God, so long. Okay, great. So this is one benefit. Two people focusing on one problem. The problem is just shrinking. Cannot stand it. So that's great. Anything else?
Well, it makes you sort of see your problem from a different perspective.
Exactly. Yes. This is so important. Perspective can make such a huge difference. And we want to look through the eyes of the scriptures. Shastra Chakshu, Shastra Kyana Chakshusha. But if you see from the point of view of another person, you respect the different point of view, it can give you so much value in your life. If you're open to other perspectives. So we sometimes ask people, so what do you think about this? I'm seeing this like this and this. And then they can say, oh, well, you can see it a little bit differently. And they say, oh my God, I haven't thought about that. You know this exercise when two people stand, it's written from this side it's 6, but from this side it's 9. It's more. And I mean, there are so many examples how perspective helps, different perspective. I can mention a story of a businessman who sent his representative to Africa to check if there is a market for shoes. And he has seen that nobody wears shoes, and he said, no, I mean, they're not, boss, they're not interested, nobody wears shoes, so we don't have a market for shoes. And the director wasn't convinced. He sent another representative, and he said, oh, there is so much market for shoes because nobody has shoes. So he saw it as an opportunity, and the other person saw it as a lack of market, lack of opportunity. So two people can see the same thing differently, and the perspective can help a lot. It can open new possibilities. And of course, there is questions that can help to expand possibilities, and in this way expand our intelligence about something. And these questions are combined with the word else. What else? Who else? How else? Where else? If you use these words, you expand possibilities. If you have a thinking session now, new approach to coaching that I'm learning is that coach is a thinking partner and coachee or a client is a thinker. You understand? This is so exciting. I mean, this is exciting that you listen so people can think better. You don't have to give advice. It's not forbidden to give advice, but you can do it later. First, let them think for an hour, then you can, at the end, you can say something. If you have to, maybe they don't need, if they need. So, if your presence can stimulate expansion of thinking, expansion of intelligence, your sincere, encouraging presence, then you help people to expand their intelligence. You can expand possibilities with this kind of approach. And any technique that is helpful, we can use it to expand our intelligence, how to serve Krishna, how to spread the mission. I mean, Vaisheshika Prabhu came up with smart boxes. This is the box that distributes books. There is no man, there is no person. He just put the books, offer opportunity to hold for a donation, and people are paying for the books without even devotees standing there. He sponsored and put all the books in all the motels in America, or many motels, because they put Bibles there, but now there is a Bhagavad Gita also. That's also very smart. He has such a desire to distribute books that Krishna gives him so much intelligence, and one thing he is empowered that he can free you from fear of book distribution. Because of book distribution you can be rejected, not distribute anything. I have a lot of experience of this. Like distributing 2 books a day, whole day. But when I listen to him, I feel like, well, actually it's possible. You can try and see. And I think he presents it as fun. So what is austerity can be presented as fun. That's also intelligent. Like, if I want to convince you to fast, how can I do that? I have to know how to do it in a way that you will be inspired. And I can tell you so many things. But I have heard one lady recently from India. She has a YouTube called Sattvic Movement, or maybe that's her business. And she explained so nicely why weight until our food is digested that even I became convinced. I'm prasadam bhakta, but I see that I think I should eat once a day because my digestion is very slow. And she explained it so scientifically, so scientifically. I think she's probably a devotee. I mean, she's using devotee jargon, devotee language. But she doesn't present herself there. So, this is so intelligent. I mean, to convince me to not eat whole day. She says we are eating all the time. That's why we cannot heal. Because the body is, the energy of the body is spent on digesting food. Otherwise, it can heal itself. It has power to heal itself. And I said, wow, this doesn't make sense. It makes sense times 1,000. It's such an amazing explanation. So how can convince someone that something is good for him? He is doing something harmful, eating, not missing any maha in Soho, and not missing any meal, and not missing any fancy things in Govindas. So how can we be healthy? We say that ISKCON is a hospital, but the menu is very dangerous. Especially here in Soho. And Shubha Jain convinced me to start eating less frequently, eating less sweets and other fried things, and I'm feeling better and better. So the challenge is to use our intelligence. Yes?
What's the name of that person?
Shubha Jain.
And what was it? Sattvic?
Sattvic movement.
Movement.
She is recommending not eating meat, fish and eggs. Also. And she says that she wants to help to change misdirected civilization in her description. I wrote her, but she didn't reply. I asked her, do you know about Krishna? Maybe that's an insult. Anyway, so if you find... We want to expand our intelligence also how to preach Krishna consciousness. And devotees are finding so many ways. I mean, one thing that attracted me to ISKCON is that devotees are so intelligent. When I got back to Godhead, then the articles, how they write it. I mean, Prabhupada writes one thing, but when devotees present it, it's even, for me at that time, it was more attractive and more understandable. And they have so many programs. I mean, like here, I used to be on the temple board. We have 13 departments in this small place. 13 departments. And they are all full-time engaged. Isn't that a miracle? I mean, it's amazing. I didn't start it again. Oh, I did. Okay. So it's a very, very exciting principle to expand our intelligence, connecting with the super soul, thinking about how to expand preaching, how to inspire people to read books. I mean, the big challenge in ISKCON is to convince devotees that they should read Prabhupada's books, isn't it? Who is reading books every day regularly? Who is excited about it? There is programs of study, and there are so many ways how we can approach reading the books. Now we have audio books. People cannot read; they only listen. So we doing all the books in audio format, and that's also a good way to do it, by hook or by crook, in some way. So similarly, for your own life, for your own benefit, for your own welfare, you can think, how can I help myself? Or how can I help this, my friend who is suffering so much, she wants to commit suicide, 5 boyfriends left her. And I'm telling her, they left her because they don't deserve you. She doesn't believe me. She thinks she's not worthy and like this. So how can we... Therefore, we should always learn from all kinds of sources, from Vedic sources, but also from other people. Learn how we can help anyone. At the moment, I'm on a course, online course called Coping with Depression, which is based on Bhaktivedanta Maharaj's teachings. And there is maybe 10-15 devotees on that course. And, we have assignments every day, coping with depression. Because so many people are depressed, and we have to know how to help them. And then they give different tools, how can we help. We can always, we want to always learn how to help people, how to help ourselves, and therefore we need to expand our knowledge and expand our intelligence. Have you heard about heart intelligence, heart math? Oh, this is a whole project called heart math, mathematics of the heart, or heart intelligence. And you have heard about emotional intelligence for sure. So this is also a kind of intelligence we have to expand. How to be understanding of other people, how to be able to express ourselves without hurting others. So there is so different kinds of intelligences that we need to expand. And we can work systematically and scientifically on this and learn from those who are experts and use it in Krishna's service. I have brought two things I want to show you. But before that, do you have any questions about our three topics today? I will show you a choice map a little bit when we finish these questions. So any questions about this? Do you think this is useful for you?
Yes.
There will be three more topics that will also be practical. I mean, there are practical aspects. But if you have questions, yes?
About this question, so you make it your own questions and you try to answer them. But if I can't answer some of them, then just can I ask some similar?
You can.
Like this is okay? Yes.
You can ask people, what do you think about this?
And then after that I have to think about it, or I just accept this as from Krishna, or...
Excellent questions. I always encourage you to think for yourself. Never accept anything blindly just because somebody said so. Even if Guru tells you something, think about it and see if it makes sense, if you understand it, if you can follow it. If not, tell him, discuss it. Always think for yourself. Things have to make sense to you, otherwise you will get. Krishna doesn't want us to be stupid. He doesn't want us to be blind followers. We have to think. Prabhupada, there is this famous letter, 72, to Karandara. He says we want devotees to be independently thoughtful in all areas of life. Independently thoughtful. It doesn't mean you become independent of ISKCON or of ISKCON authority structure, but to think how to do things in a proper way. So it's an excellent question. Thank you. Okay, anything else?
We're talking a lot about intelligence. Srimad Bhagavatam explains about what is intelligence. Could you explain what that means, that verse about correct apprehension and misapprehension? Could you explain what that means?
Thank you so much. I should have this ready for this section. You see, when I teach, I always learn something for the devotees who attend, and they mention some new resources. So this verse is a good resource for this part of my course. I can't remember. What did you say? Misapprehension.
Yeah, I said apprehension, misapprehension, memory, and sleep.
Sleep.
That's one of them, and the other one I can't remember.
I will look into it. I can't give an explanation now. I want to study this myself. And, I would like to do a research of the whole Veda base on intelligence. It's such an interesting topic, Buddhi Yoga and things like that. But thank you for mentioning this. Okay. Any other common question? Your experience, maybe you did some brainstorming somewhere in a course and you had like eureka experience. One thing I want to recommend when, for example, looking for solutions, which is use of intelligence, people recommend the win-win approach. They recommend synergy. So there is a book called Third Alternative. I have it. This is the last book that Stephen Covey wrote. He's the author of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He wrote that. This is the last book he wrote before he died. The Third Alternative, I have it. I can send it to you for free. I also have audio version. You can get both. This book explains that here is my proposal, here is your proposal, and here is the best proposal here. So we look for the solution that will be better than those that both of us proposed in the first place. It's called third alternative approach. So it's very intelligent. Instead of people fighting, or maybe at the best having a compromise, they go for something that is amazing. They are excited about it. I give an example. Lego, the toys. Okay, so some people were hacking their website. This example is in that book. Hacking their website, and instead of chasing them and suing them, they met them and asked them, why do you do this? And then they said, well, we want to learn from you and we want to share something for you. We also have ideas, but we don't know if you're open to accept them. And they said, what? Okay. They became business partners and they helped them to expand their business. So the problem became an opportunity. And one amazing question that helps to expand our intelligence is to ask ourselves, how can I turn this problem into opportunity? What opportunities are hidden in this problem? Obviously, every problem is an opportunity to work on finding a solution, or, even better, to use our intelligence to work on finding a solution. That's one obvious opportunity, but there are so many other opportunities that you can find if you ask yourself, what opportunities are there in this problem? So these are some ways to expand intelligence. And we are coming to the end of our today's association. I want to show you the choice map that I mentioned. It's relevant for, I think, all parts of this course. It's based on the book Change Your Questions, Change Your Life. And here I said there are questions in the mode of goodness. This lady, the author, calls it learner path. So you can ask yourself questions about any situations. Here you have a choice. You can go up or down. This is judger questions. They lead to a muddy pond. And here, very important for us, the most important part is the switching lane, because we are all recovering judgers, or we are still judgers. So when you start judging, make a switch. And you can get this online for free. In the back there is explanation how to use it. So, learner questions. What happened? What do I want? What are the facts? What assumptions am I making? What can I learn? What are they thinking, feeling, or wanting? What am I responsible for? What are my choices? What's best to do now? What's possible? All amazing questions. Learning questions, mode of goodness. Judger questions, Tamoguna and Rajaguna questions. Why am I such a failure? Why are they so stupid? Why bother? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with them? So this is a judger. And there is another tool I want to share with you. It's called Weekly Planner, and we will speak about this in our 6th part. So next Saturday, the last part, when we speak about your personal mission statement, your personal planning, your personal contribution. So this tool can help you. There is a short explanation, and there is a whole book called First Things First. And I have other books that explain more about this system that the followers of this author made. They refined it, adapted to this. And I forgot to say one thing about positive language. We are all using social media. We are all using our gadgets, communicating, texting, and you probably have experienced how one sentence, one word, said in the wrong way can create misunderstanding and many, many problems. So with social media, we want to become expert in using positive language and applying the verse from the Gita, this 17:15, and always asking ourselves, is this message according to the Bhagavad Gita's verse, austerity of speech? So we have smartphones, we have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Lately, I like to send audio messages. So with audio messages, maybe it's a less possibility to be misunderstood. because they can hear the tone and the mood. But with written messages, there is a danger. I can give you an example. Recently, one friend was supposed to come and visit me before I leave, and the person wrote something how planning days to come because the person was from another city, and then said something that made me doubtful. I said, how will you come back? Because this person works the next day, so how will you come back? Because coming in the afternoon, it's tight, everything is tight. And then the person said, don't worry, I won't stay. So I was thinking, oh my God, does this person think that they bother me, that I'm not into them visiting me, I don't like them to come? Does this person think like this? And I said, this is very rude. So before checking, I started judging. That was my mistake. This one line. They said, oh no, I didn't mean this. And I'm confused, I'm crying. The person said, I said, but how would you understand this sentence? Please explain to me. I mean, it says, don't worry, I won't stay. It sounds like this. What do you think? I mean, why I'm inviting you to come? Then explanation was what I meant. Don't worry, I will find the lift back. Because there is, BlaBlaCar? Private people who can drive you, we pay them something cheaper than public transport. So, BlaBlaCar, it's not so easy to find. Bus is a little bit expensive, coach. Then train is also slow or whatever. And so, don't worry, I will find the lift back, although it's late. I mean, it will be 9, 10 o'clock. And I said, my God, I misunderstood. I'm really sorry. I didn't want to hurt you. But it sounded to me something that wasn't true, and they didn't mean. And now, when we communicate, and we want to be positive, not hurt people, especially when it's a close relationship, people are so impatient. People fall in love, they have honeymoon, and they start fighting after this. They love each other on a passionate level, but they don't have enough love and patience to communicate enough so that they don't get into a big fight. So one symptom of love is that you're ready to communicate for 5 hours is needed until you clarify the thing, and you see that this person is not exploiting me, this person is not against me. Let us clarify the communication, because people communicate in different ways. And sometimes written communication can be really misunderstood. I had so many mistakes. You press send button and there is no undo, or its undo is very short, and you really regret it. Like WhatsApp has an option which lasts maybe 1 minute, delete for everyone, delete for everyone. That's very good. But after some time it's only delete for me. So better think before you press send, and better spend more time thinking how will this affect the other person. Don't rush. And when we are outside, we are just rushing and writing, then regretting. So with social media, be careful to send positive language. Okay, so thank you very much. We are now at our time to finish. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that so many of you came today. I hope this was useful for you. And please come on the 27th again. Is it 10:30 again? Yes, 10:30 to 1:30 again. We will have these 3 topics. Grow giver's heart, become a trusted guide, and make a wonderful contribution. Shri Prabhupada ki.